Minor League Baseball is back, and this week the Scranton-Wilkes-Barre RailRiders will be back at PNC Field in Moosic. That feels good just to say that, and I'm happy to welcome our guest today, Adam Marco. He's the Director of Communications and a broadcaster for the RailRiders, also the voice of the RailRiders. So if you listen to a RailRiders game on the radio, you will hear Adam's voice. Adam, thank you for being with us. No season last year because of the pandemic, and along with that, there's less teams. There's been a lot of changes, and it's a new player development system with Major League Baseball. So for some fans, I was on the website, I was a little confused. Can you just talk about some of the changes that have been implemented to minor league baseball?
You know, the dynamic in professional baseball, one baseball, as Rob Manfred and Major League Baseball have called it, is really to change the player development structure. It allots more control to major league teams on how things are done in the minors. And they've developed partner leagues and they've shifted affiliates. Initially, this is something, for me at least, that was done 15, 20 years ago. You saw teams get closer to their major league club. And Scranton-Wilkes-Barre, they were close to begin with as a Phillies affiliate from 89 to 2006. But when Lehigh Valley came into play and the Yankees moved here from Columbus, trying to get those minor league teams, those affiliates, closer. So that was one part of this equation. They want to be able to pay players a little bit more. They wanted to adjust the structure. So they did eliminate some teams. They created some new leagues. Now, for example, our good friends at the Williamsport Crosscutters. They were a New York Penn League team. They're now in this MLB Draft League, which is college-level prospects. So they still have a team. It's not affiliated. It's a little bit different, and the structure is really what has changed since the last time we saw minor league baseball play. Now, the pandemic factored into that, certainly not having a season in 2020. It hurt a lot of organizations. A lot of teams struggled, but there are 120 teams affiliated with major league clubs this year. Each club has 4 teams essentially now, and that doesn't count like their developmental leagues like the Dominican and their rookie leagues.
Does anything change, and forgive me because I actually forget this, with the International League and the Pacific Coast League? Are they now playing kind of together in one league? I know there's not as much travel, but does anything change there?
The days of the International League and Pacific Coast League, as we knew them, are gone. It's disappointing. There's so much history in the Governor's Cup and the AAA championship game, but we now play in AAA East. There's 20 teams in AAA East, 10 teams in AAA West. The 10 teams in AAA West are predominantly the old Pacific Coast League teams. They added the Sugar Land Skeeters as a new AAA team. They were independent ball. AAA East with 20 teams, it's all meant to help travel, to minimize the amount that all of these players have to travel on a consistent basis. Now, because of the pandemic, that's even restricted more so than ever. We will play this year. Our division is AAA East, Northeast. But we play, it's the old IL North, if you will. We play Buffalo, which is playing in Trenton this year because the Blue Jays are playing in Buffalo. There's that whole dynamic. Rochester, Syracuse, Lehigh Valley, and Pawtucket has moved to Worcester, Massachusetts. So it's now the Worcester Red Sox or the Woo Sox. We don't travel outside the division this year because of the pandemic. The other shift for this year is we play 6 games series. We start on a Tuesday, we finish on a Sunday. Monday is an off day. Everything we do this year, I think, is an exception to the rule of what the sport will turn into with all of these changes. The changes we'll see across the landscape of baseball. I take this year with a grain of salt, and let's just get through it. Let's get baseball back.
Now, while there was no minor league baseball last year, a lot of the changes Major League Baseball was trying out in minor league baseball became a part of the major leagues because of the pandemic season. And I think I got most of these changes, but I think putting a runner on second base in extra innings, 7 innings for double headers of games. You've been watching this for several seasons. I've enjoyed a lot of the changes. Some people, like you say, purists may not, but it was interesting to see them being carried over. And some of them have stuck with Major League Baseball.
We've got some new changes coming this year. Years past, they would use the Atlantic League, their relationship with the Atlantic League, to test things out. Well, now they're using the minor leagues as basically test facilities, whether it's roster limits. We're going to have bigger bases in AAA this year. Instead of a 15-inch base, it's an 18-inch base. But you're going to have changes in pickoff moves, and in lower levels, they're going to outlaw the shift. Like, they're trying things in the minors this year, see what works.
You talked about making the bags bigger, and you said there were several reasons. Is that sliding in there a little bit more room or a little bit more coverage, or?
It's the ability for, like at first base, for example, for that first baseman to be a little bit further away and not get clipped. There are any number of scientific reasons they can throw out at me. And until I see it consistently and understand the dynamics of how it's going to play into the game, it's 90 feet. No, it's not. Now it's 89 feet, 6 inches between does that make that much of a difference? Maybe not. I want to see these things in play.
And on the field, Adam, what gets you excited about the RailRiders in 2021, and what are some notes fans should look out for from the actual ball club?
Some of the guys that I think make noise, first baseman Chris Gittens is going to be a big power asset for manager Doug Davis. Estevan Florial has, for a long time, been one of the best prospects in the Yankees organization. Now, he's kind of fallen down, or other players have surpassed him. The last 2 years, he's been really dinged up with injuries. I'm looking forward to see what Florial has to offer this year. And so goes the Yankees pitching staff, go the RailRiders. But, a Davy Garcia, a Mike King, Nick Nelson, some of the guys we saw in 2019, 2018 that could be big factors for us this year. I also think we'll have a really good bullpen, a lot of veteran presence in that bullpen. Maybe not years past with like Oliver Perez in the bullpen, veteran presence, but we're going to have some guys that can throw. And I think it'll be impressive to see Brooks Kriske, Trevor Lane, guys like that you're going to see in New York, maybe not early this year, maybe not consistently early on this year, but within the next couple of years.
Well, Adam, I thank you so much for your time. For our viewers, you're going to see about 7 minutes of this, but I kept Adam for about 40 because I think you're interesting. I think you have a great way of explaining the game of baseball, and you can listen to him, voice of the RailRiders.